How often did she treat you?
Every day.
For how long?
Like a good semester.
What grade?
3rd grade.
Stephanie's a lesbian. Hello everyone, welcome to Generation Grub, where we talk and debate any and all things food. We are the Grub Girls, and on today's episode, it's the summer countdown. Summer's almost over.
No!
If you live in Florida, you probably are like, yeah!
I'm over this damn rain.
Except if you're a teacher. We are heading back to school. If you guys don't know, 2/3 of the Grub Girls are teachers, and it's a week before we head back to work, so...
It's a week already?
Yeah.
When does school start?
August 10th.
Which is what day out of the week?
Wednesday.
On a Wednesday?
We love it.
For that, start on a Friday.
Okay.
I mean,
that's ridiculous.
That's a little bit much, though. That's a little bit much.
For that, just don't start at all.
See you at Christmas.
Yeah, at least it's not like a Monday, you know?
Yeah. So, we are starting school, so we're going to bring up topics, summer foods, but still highly debated issues in the food world. So let's get started.
Let's do it.
My handy dandy notebook. All right, here's a question that was brought up. What makes a sandwich a sandwich? What is the definition of a sandwich? Because some people say a sandwich is anything between 2 slices of bread, which would make a hamburger as well as a hot dog a sandwich. What is your thoughts on that? Can we call a hot dog and a hamburger a sandwich, Spicy?
In essence, it is. A burger, it's a meat sandwich, and a hot dog is a wiener sandwich. Peanut butter sandwich, grilled cheese sandwich. I think definitely anything that you can spread on, spread on your slices of bread and the in-between.
So because we can spread ketchup, mustard, and mayo, you're saying a hamburger can be called a sandwich?
Yes.
Salty? Oh, that's me again. I have identity issues. Sweet.
Are you the sweet one?
I used to think that a sandwich consisted of, like, deli meat. And anything else was just whatever the other name is. A hamburger, hot dog.
What about a meatball or chicken parmesan sub? That's not a sandwich, and it's hot.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I used to think, no, those were just meatball subs. Like, I would just associate a sandwich with having to be deli meat. But, as I've gotten older and I hear everyone's opinions, I'm like, you're actually right. Yeah, something between 2 pieces of bread is a sandwich. Chicken sandwich is just like a hamburger, I would say.
That's true.
And they call it a chicken sandwich.
Bingo.
Debate over. I didn't even think of that.
Drop the mic. Just drop the mic.
Mic drop, guys. If you're listening to us. I never thought of that. You just they never say it's a hot chicken sandwich at the fast food places. Mm-hmm. So why is a hamburger not a hamburger sandwich?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I did say you could not say meatball sandwich or chicken parmesan sandwich. You said sub. Mm-hmm. Which brings me to the next debate. Is it a sandwich? Is it a sub, a hero, or a hoagie? And Glow spent 10 years in New York, so I'd like to hear what she would like to call that sandwich.
A hero?
Hero?
Wait, we're talking about subs?
Like a sub. Sub, hoagie, or hero. How do you call it? How do you order it at the bodega?
I would do a lot of bacon, egg, and cheese. I would do a lot of...
But what would you call it? A sub, a hero, or a hoagie?
God, I was drunk a lot of these nights. I don't remember. Oh my God, what did I call it? I'm trying to remember what I said. How would I order it?
We'll get back to her.
Yeah,
She'll
get
think
back
about
to
that.
me.
Honestly, hoagie. I've never called it a hoagie. That's my dog's nickname. I never called it a hoagie till Wawa came to Florida, and they had their hoagie fest. I've never called the sandwich a hoagie. And hero, also no. It was my hero. It saved me a lot of times when I was hungry.
Hero sounds strange.
Sub
Hero, I'm thinking of Jiro.
Yeah,
You know, like that's where my mind goes. I think I called it a sub, guys.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna Subway, hello. That's what it was called.
Yeah. I think, especially for us growing up in the South, I think we were introduced with Subway. I don't eat Subway now. But, Subway was like one of the first times that I like would eat outside of the home.
Of
like
a sandwich.
Pay for something, yeah. And it was a sub. So I think it just stuck. Everything is a sub.
Not in the, bodega or the stores in Puerto Rico. You guys, what do you call it? You don't call it a sandwich?
We don't have hero or hoagie in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, because I would get the chicken cutlet,
Okay.
and you don't really say the whole name. You just say, "Can I have a chicken cutlet?"
Guys listening, if you guys listening, where is hero? What region? I know there's a region they call them heroes.
Is it up north?
I feel like it's the Northeast.
Boston or something?
Boston.
What does your Jersey Mike's call them? We know that's definitely an up north company.
I think they call them subs.
Subs, right?
Janella, if you're listening, she
Help us
is a
out.
Jersey native.
Oh, is she from Jersey?
She's a diner fanatic and all things New Jersey.
Oh, wow. I did not know that about you, Janella. That's great to know. Let us know. Comment and let us know.
So, being from Florida growing up, we're going to say sub. Hero and hoagie, let us know what regions they're from, but that is usually not what we call a sandwich here.
And again, going back to the Subway thing, I think a sub is like the safe, universal way to say it. Because I remember when we went to New Orleans and we got on, we call it a trolley, I think is what we call it. Everyone was giving us so much like crap. It's not a trolley. It's a, what do they call it there? It was a,
Or is it a trolley and we called it a streetcar? Because we were thinking of San Francisco. But whatever we called it in New Orleans, the guy was like, that is not that mode of transportation.
Oh, really?
So I think
They
a
look
sub
like-
is just universal. Like, people will know what you're talking about. But like, if I don't know. I feel like if someone came to me and was like, can you give me a hero? It'll take me a little bit, even though I've heard of the term, it'll take me a little while to associate it with the actual sandwich,
Just like people from Chicago call soda pop. Let me get a pop.
I'm used to that.
Let me get a pop.
And I'm like, yeah, I've heard that from a friend. So
I think it sounds, like nostalgic. I like it.
Pop?
I like that they call it pop.
Pop. Soda
yeah,
pop.
it feels like 50s style
Yeah.
diner. Let me get a pop.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
while we're on the topic of sandwiches, this one I know because I'm married to one that is paying my ass on how she wants her sandwich cut.
There's a particular. Of course there is.
There is a
no
way for sweet, but you probably unconsciously always do it the same way.
Let's see.
Do you cut your sandwiches in half or diagonally?
Okay. This is presentation. So for me, because of presentation, I'm gonna do it diagonally.
What if it's just you eating at lunch?
I'm also gonna still slice it diagonally.
So you're a diagonal cutter.
Yeah, because I love to eat with my eyes first. And I think in my brain, it just distributes everything. It's going to be the same amount, right? At the end of the day, if you layer your sandwich, equally. So whether you cut it just straight in the middle or diagonally, you're still going to get the same amount, right? But I think visually, for me, I feel like diagonally gives me a wider grip on my sandwich, and that's why I also prefer it.
So you think that diagonal cut is just more glamorous and pretty and restaurant worthy, Instagram worthy?
Instagram worthy, absolutely.
So if you went to a restaurant and a chef gave you a sandwich and cut it straight down the middle, what would you think?
Nothing. I would just think that's the way they do it. I feel like there's one, like the pastrami with ribeye. They do it in the middle.
So then you would maybe like put down the middle in half as like a working man sandwich. You know, it's not pretentious.
Usually
You
they're
just
like
cut it in half,
stacked.
stack it with all the meat. Diagonals, a little more dainty. It's for the
clubs.
for the inventing Annas of the world. What about you, sweet?
I'm definitely a diagonal girl. It just feels wrong when it's cut down the middle.
Feels wrong.
I also think that like having it cut diagonal, like your first bite, it's like clean and crisp, like because of the edge. But like when you cut it down the middle, it feels like like you have a bigger bite, and it's not as like smooth.
I think your issue with the both of you is with the diagonal cut, it has 2 points where it tells you this is where you start. And with a cut down the middle with that rectangle, if you eat right down the middle, you're going to get sauce everywhere. It's not, where's your first bite in a regular cut sandwich? I see where you're going. You guys
also,
don't want to get all messy.
When you cut down the middle, like, I'm not a crust girl.
Mm.
And that kind of forces you to eat the crust first.
I mean,
in
I
your
like
bite.
the crust.
So when I cut it diagonal, it's like I get less of the crust, which I enjoy.
Well, the truth is she doesn't want crust at all. So every morning I have to cut the crust off. All the sides when I make her a sandwich.
You guys
and then cut it diagonal.
It's because Team Sweet and Team Spicy, as only childs, they are.
You said Team Spicy's an only child.
Is that what I said?
Yeah.
You got,
oh my god.
You got identity issues too.
I think she's dreaming.
I thought I was an only child. No, I love my sisters. What the heck? Oh, them. Okay, rephrase. Salty and Sweet Bean, only childs. They are really like big kids. And in a lot of ways, they're just big kids in an adult body.
So you're saying, in the nicest way possible, we're still spoiled.
Absolutely. 100%.
The girl don't get crust on her bread, okay?
You only get one life.
And then,
you
by
must
the
live
way,
it the way you want.
by the way, one day I didn't take the crust off.
No.
One day I just said, we're in a rush. I got to make this sandwich. And she opened it up in front of her coworkers, and they FaceTime me in my classroom to show how upset she was because she opened it and said, "What the heck? Why do I got this crust?" And then
No, I didn't
And then
say
it was
anything.
something else too.
I told her, because, when she packed the lunch, I'm like, okay, what can I expect? I like to know what can I expect. I don't like to be surprised at lunch. And when she told me what it was, I'm like, okay, she knows that I like butter on my turkey and cheese sandwich. That's just how I grew up eating it. I don't want mustard or mayo, none of that stuff. She knows that. It's nothing new. So I sat down to eat my lunch. I opened my lunchbox, grabbed my sandwich, take a bite. It's a regular sandwich. I just take a good old bite. Mm-hmm. That bite had, I think the whole bottle of mustard. And I, of course, naturally must have made a face. I didn't say, no words came out of my mouth. But I guess my coworkers must have been looking right at me when I, took my first bite. Mm-hmm. And they start laughing, saying, "What's wrong?" And I'm like, "Oh, you guys are watching me." And so then I explained, I'm like, this sandwich has mustard, and I don't like mustard, on this sandwich.
She does like mustard, guys, but only on, again, the only child specific sandwiches. Pastrami, yes. Everything else, no.
I didn't have options because I was not an only child. This is what you're eating. Period.
I'm sorry, that's another
That sounds
episode of the
depressing.
life you lived when you were a child.
But I loved everything, so I'm not a picky person. So maybe that's why. Maybe that's why I'm not particular with these two.
Yeah, particular. I mean, I like mustard. I just don't want it on my sandwich.
I'm not that particular, but she has learned over the years some weird quirks that I do not like certain things or how things are cooked. I can eat many things, but I have some weird food quirks. Mm-hmm. On to another summer food.
Now, are food quirks a deal breaker?
Depends on the food quirk. What do you mean? Give me something. Is there deal breakers for you, Glow? And if you're listening, listen up, gentlemen, because she is single. You might need to change some habits.
No, I think the only thing that I would be a little bummed about is that they would only want to eat at chains, and very just always ordering the same thing from the menu, like chicken strips and fries.
I was going to say, that's the first thing that came to my mind. He's a 10, but he only likes to eat chicken strips.
He's a 10, but all he eats is chicken tenders. He's going to a 5.
Immediately. Yeah, that's pretty much it, because, I love to eat, and I love just trying out new food, and that's what I enjoy to do. So I would say we're not going to work out.
What if he was open? Because, he was from a small farm in Missouri. And he just moved to Orlando for a great opportunity. And he met you. And he's like, Glow, I'm a farm boy. I usually eat chicken tenders and fries. But I'm willing to try. But it's going to take steps.
Okay. See, now I'm like open too, because
that's like a little adventure.
You've opened the gateway to like introduce you to all these delicious foods that you have not had the pleasure to try. So now, oh heck yeah, it's an adventure. Let's go.
Oh my gosh, I think you kind of want that now. I think
you got excited.
You kind of want to find someone and take them on this culinary journey.
Yeah, I like to recommend things. I love to just put on people to delicious things. So, yeah, I'm like, let's go.
And should they be above 6 foot?
At least 5'10".
5'10". I don't know how we turned into Glow's dating service, but let's move on to French fries. Since we're talking about a guy who likes chicken tender and French fries. All the different cuts. What is the optimal French fry cut? The king of French fries. Not brands. How they cut the potato to give you your favorite kind of French fry. Who wants to go first?
Shoestring.
Okay, go on.
I like the fries like thin and crispy.
So you like chips.
I also like chips, but and I like the shoestring, and I like
don't you love regular? Steak fries?
That is the one that I'm very strong about. I hate it. I will not eat that. You put that on my plate, it's gonna stay right there. That's so thick. It's like eating mashed potatoes.
So you don't like it thick?
No, I do not like it thick. Not at all.
I have a qualm about shoestring fries. We're very I feel like it's so thin you no longer taste the soft potato in the middle. It gets too crispy for me. I'm never in that mood. For me, I'm a crinkle girl.
You're a crinkle girl.
A crinkle girl is like a good in-between from steak fries too thick. It does become more potato. Wedge is also more potato heavy. But then we get too thin, and I'm not enjoying that soft potato with the crispy outside. Crinkle's my game. And then traditional, but if I'm going to choose, crinkle's a little thicker. That's the potato of the moment. French fry of the moment. Spicy?
Was just the regular cut that we found.
Yeah, the classic cut.
The classic cut. I love curly fries because I love... Okay, listen.
That's on my list of bottom.
That's the thing. I love curly fries for the seasoning, right? And again, for me, it's fun. But if I were, and potatoes my vice, and I love French fries. But I agree with you guys. The steak cut, too thick. I'm going to get full of these potatoes. You know what I mean? And I think the shoestring, they're too thin. I'm grabbing 30 in one bite.
Oh, you need a fork.
I also want to taste more of the creaminess of the potato, right? So I think just classic for me.
Thank you for bringing that up again. French fries should be eaten with a hand. And when you eat shoestring, I feel like, yeah, but it's too much. Like, you have to grab it.
You have a bouquet of fries at that point.
Mm-hmm.
I think the reason why I like shoestring and the reason why it came up to my mind so quickly is because the shoestring fries that I order, that I think of when I think of shoestring, is truffle fries. And they usually like to do it shoestring so that you can get more of the truffle flavor.
It's true.
And those are just crack. Whew, so good.
Curly fries.
Oh.
I get the seasoning, but I'd go for Checkers.
Above steak fries.
Then I'd go to Checkers for the seasoned fries, or even KFC has some bomb seasoned fries now. But I don't know it's not even the shape of the curl. I don't know. I think it gets too fried.
There's something about it, yeah.
I don't know, but
maybe it tastes like a little burnt or something, like oily.
They can get really oily. Yes, I agree, but it's it's one of those items where you just have to order it from the right place. Like, I think Arby's has really good curly fries.
I mean, I find myself eating them when I accidentally forget to tell them crinkle fries, but I don't enjoy them.
What I was gonna, I was gonna bring tater tots, but that's breakfast. I feel like tater tots is more available during the breakfast time.
See, those are my.
But those people
steak
do
fries?
love tater tots to get for dinner, dinner. Yeah, they do, and I don't like that. I don't like it.
Steak fries, tater tots, and curly fries. My bottom three.
I agree with her. Those are my bottom three for sure. All right, since we did say the summer is almost ending, we have a little 2 or 3 weeks left. We're going back to school. What's a back to school meal that you remember growing up? Going in the cafeteria, you were excited that it was this day when you were going through the line.
Oh gosh, that's easy. I did not have school lunch. I always packed my lunch. Only on one day did I trade with my best friend because she had school lunch. And on that day, I guess she didn't like it, but I loved it. And she would bring in, she brought in spaghetti and meatballs, Chef Boyardee, in a thermos. And I would get her school lunch, pizza day. Square pizza. Oh my gosh, nothing like it.
I don't know why they got rid of the square pizza with the square cube pepperoni.
It had good seasoning. It's almost like they put adobo in that bitch.
What'd you say?
I think they put adobo in that bitch. It was so good.
Did y'all have Mexican pizza day? No. Where it was they spiced the meat with Mexican spices and then they used orange cheese and it wasn't square, it was a hexagon. Y'all didn't have that? What they serving in Kissimmee?
No.
What they serving me at Kissimmee? Well, that was a one day. Other than pizza day, because that's everyone's favorite day.
That was the only day.
That was my favorite day too. I was like, damn. I came to a blank. I'm like, am I going to say freaking a salad in a cup? That's pretty sad if that was my favorite thing. But you know the the McFay salads like McDonald's had in a cup.
Yeah.
I thought that was really fancy in high school, and I was like, oh yeah, they're going to give us these salads. But I think I used to get excited for pizza for sure. And then breakfast. I think I prefer breakfast cafeteria food over the lunch food.
Oh, I have one. I remember in high school. Sometimes I would pay for the lunch because I didn't get lunch in high school either. But I'd pay for taco salad with the Doritos. You'd crunch up the Doritos and put them in and shake it up.
I was a fatty at a young age, and it wasn't, I ate everything in that lunch line, but what I remember growing up is I was such a fatty that I would take quarters from my mom and pay a girl in my class, her name was Nicole, and her mom made I don't even understand. I don't know what she put in it because I can never remake it. But it was a French bread, it was mayonnaise, it was turkey, and it was Munster cheese. That is it.
Wait a second. So this girl hustled you? She would sell you these sandwiches from home?
Not even a hustle, Glow. I offered the money. I said...
Walk me through this conversation.
I said, oh my gosh, that sandwich looks really yummy. As I'm holding my lunch tray.
What grade were you in?
3rd grade.
So good.
3rd grade. And I'm like, that looks really good. And she's like, I guess that was her sandwich every day. So the girl's getting sick of it. And I guess it was a day that she liked school lunch. And I said, trade you. And then that was when it started. That's when the addiction started. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what is in this sandwich? And I would want it every day. And so then I'm like, okay, I have to entice her because she's not always going to want the school lunch. Food. But she would want the money so she can get snacks.
Oh,
so then I'm like,
smart.
here's $1. And I would give her $1.25 every day for that damn sandwich. And I think I went, at some point, it got so bad I wanted to go over her house and watch her mom make the sandwich. And then, here's the thing, and this is like America and how people work in their brains. The kids started seeing, why is Jessica paying for this sandwich? So guess what happened? I got competition. Now people were so interested in this sandwich, they were like, well, if she's paying and giving her lunch,
It must be good.
what is in this sandwich? So they were trying to barter, like, now they're bringing candies or toys. And I said, what on earth? I had to up my price. So I had to pay, now I'm hitting $2 for this sandwich at some point.
God.
Because these mofos trying to get my sandwich.
Did Mama Sylvia ever catch you with stealing money from her?
That's a very dark story, Glow. But yes, she figured out.
Because it seemed like an addiction.
She figured out that the piggy bank was getting lighter and lighter because of not only my turkey sandwich addiction, but I always wanted to go to the ice cream truck.
I knew it, the ice cream truck.
And I was friends with a bunch of boys, and we were like seeing who can get the most ice creams. It was like a thing, like, oh, wow, Glow got a coconut bar and this today? She ballin'. And I'm like, dang, I only had 50 cents. I could only get this. So I'm like, oh, I gotta get some money because I want to show that I can buy 3 ice cream bars. So then again, the competition got to me, and I'm taking quarters like a crackhead, trying to feed my addiction. And I got a long speech about stealing from my mom and how I broke her heart. Mom, if you're listening.
Did she just ask you, or how did you get caught?
She's like, where'd all my quarters go?
She wasn't discreet. Like, the money was just disappearing.
It was obvious.
I didn't have a job to refill it. It was just running low at some point.
You were in 3rd grade.
And then she gave me the speech, this is why I'm very sensitive to words, because unlike a lot of Hispanic children, I was not hit growing up. I was hit with emotional words. And she just made me feel bad. Like, why would you steal from me if you wanted quarters? And I'm like, Mom, you would never give me $3 for ice cream every day. You would say that is too much. And I needed to eat the ice cream.
So now we know Team Salty's favorite summer
is turkey sandwiches and ice cream. That is my favorite school memory.
I have something for you guys. Was there at any point, this was middle school for me, so it had to be middle school for you guys. In middle school, I remember going through a phase, and like all of us, it wasn't just me, it was like a lot of us, where my school started selling like full size bag of chips, and
like the dollar ones,
like the big bags,
or like the 25 cents, 75 cents.
No, the full size.
So dollar.
I mean, and all we would eat for lunch was a bag of spicy nacho Doritos with a drink.
I didn't go through that phase.
It was so good.
Nope, I did not. I think for the snacks, it definitely, this sweet girl, wish I remembered her name like you remember Nicole's name. I don't remember this girl's name, but she was the kindest. I think I told you about this girl.
I remember
was
this
also
story.
like in 3rd grade, and she was older than me, but I was like in Magnet in elementary school, so you know I was in a class full of different people, different grades, and her name was Stephanie.
Okay.
Stephanie. Oh my God, her name just came to my brain. That's wild. She would always treat me to the 50-cent chocolate chip cookie that the school would make. And this cookie was like this big, like a Miss Field size. 50 cents, I remember. And for some reason, she always treated me to a cookie. And
I'm investigating this right now.
uh-huh.
How often did she treat you?
Every day.
For how long?
Like a good semester.
What grade?
3rd grade.
Stephanie's a lesbian.
Oh, well, I don't remember her.
What's her last name?
We gonna look,
remember.
Stephanie, you out there?
we gonna look Stephanie up and find out.
She would love talking about Sábado Gigante
Oh,
because
my.
she used to love watching. I used to go to this elementary school was like
Francisco.
Armenian populated, and so I went to school with a lot of Armenians.
She was Armenian?
She was Armenian, and I was, a few of the Hispanics, and they would all love watching Sábado Gigante, watching El Chacal. For the Hispanics out there, let me know if you know what I'm talking about. And I think she just got such a
Kick out
like
of
a kick that she had a friend that was Spanish and knew about this show that she enjoyed watching in Spanish. And I think we built that connection, and she was like, here's a cookie. Tell me about the show.
All right, we are definitely
She was buying your
opening
friendship.
that investigation up, and we're going to see if we can find Stephanie
She was
and
so
see
nice.
where she is. We know
Thank
she's
you.
Armenian.
Which is why chocolate chip cookie is my favorite cookie, too.
Wow, this
Classic.
could be a classic love story. We're creating. All right, guys. And with that final thought about Glow's love for chocolate chip cookies, thanks to Stephanie, we will close out today's episode. We are the Grub Girls, and thank you for listening to Generation Grub. Until next time,
Stay spicy.
stay salty.
and stay sweet.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.